So one of the biggest mistakes I did as a beginner in music licensing was putting way too much on the music composition, meaning that I will have too many elements. And I will always think that I needed more. I needed more tracks. I needed more cowbells, if you will. I needed more time to finish my track. I needed so much more in order to finish my track and to make it sound good, if you will, to make it sound professional. Now, I am working right now. As you know, I'm working here on, well, first of all, I work from home and I compose music here in the middle of the living room, as you know, if you've been following me. And at the moment, I'm still working on the West World competition, scoring competition. And it just came to me this thought of like, how much more can I put into this track to make it sound so epic and to make it sound competitive enough. And it just, I went back to my old ways when I was a beginner, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? You know, actually, it's less is more. And I hate to use that phrase because I do believe that we want to grow, we want to accomplish more, we want to write more music. But when it comes down to music composition and the elements that you're putting on your track, less is more. And this is a perfect example. I cannot share this track with you right now because it's still in the making. And I want to finish it, upload it for the competition and share it with you so you can have a listen, and you know, we can all listen to each other's track for that matter. I'm doing my own thing, so I address certain aspects of composition in previous videos. First, you have to be yourself, be original, do what comes as second nature to you, which is what I'm doing here. But as well, it has to be controlled, you know. I did the mistake of last night working on this track, which I've already started it, but I carry on bit by bit. And I did the mistake of staying late last night and overthinking too much, overanalyzing it, you know, going back to these old ways, the beginner's mind, if you will. And I started putting way too many elements. I'm like, I'm missing the point here. The message could be told, or the story could be told with less instruments. So I have reduced the instruments, and obviously it works now. And this is just this is why it's so important to do this as an exercise. Just embark on new things. And with this, I came across these old patterns of thought, these old patterns of thinking as a composer and as a creative being in general. And it's about not how many tracks I have on my project, but exactly how can I use less and communicate more, if that makes any sense. So I'm being very minimal with my track, and I'm being very strategic when it comes down to even using silence as a way of communicating the message, meaning that there is music, as you know, obviously we're making a sound, but for that sound to exist, there needs to be as well a silence. So I'm using as well silence and pauses and whatnot in order to create even more movement on my track. And I know this might sound a little bit out there and very abstract without listening to it, but the point is not for you to listen to my track. The point is for you to know that one of the biggest mistakes I did, and I'm just been going through that thought process, is putting way too many tracks, way too many ideas, too many motifs, melodies clashing between each other. Maybe there's no need to have a melody. I don't need to put another string section here. Actually, no strings. How about that? And see how can I communicate a message, because everybody else is already putting strings on their tracks. Everybody else is doing the conventional composition or arrangement when it comes to this. So I want to be completely out there, something a little bit more original, and that requires a lot of thought. That requires to not do the same things as others. Not only that, but at the same time do more with less. And yes, less is more sometimes. When it comes to composition, it's better to be very simple, very, very strategic with the sounds. Where do they live and where do they actually are going to shine, so you can listen to all the instruments as they appear in the composition. Another crucial mistake I did when I was beginning my music licensing career was to check out way too much what other people were doing and try to compare myself to their own music. So I gotta confess that when I started doing the Westworld scoring competition, I did check what other people have already submitted. You know, if you want to see that, you can just go to YouTube and put the hashtag and check whatever submissions people are doing. So I'm in a better place today than I was in the past, meaning that I'm more confident in myself and I'm more secure in what I know, what I'm good at, and where do I shine. But I couldn't resist the temptation to go and check out what other people were doing. And that's a mistake that a lot of beginners do when they start doing music licensing, is that they go and then they see what other people are doing and they measure themselves against that. And not knowing that you are an individual and not knowing that you can actually be shining in your own way. So it's just by doing something that is new or something that is out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I don't do this on a regular basis, having some high quality movie clip and score to film like that. And it has nothing to do with a competition, but because I don't do it like that often, and I know that there's other people doing it, I wonder what the guy next door is doing, you know? And I did it the very first day. I went and checked whatever was on the front page or whatever appeared in the search, and just listened to it and say like, okay, that's good enough, you know. But I don't do it anymore. I don't go every day and check and compare my work, what I'm doing right now, and go and see what other people have been submitted, because that's a terrible idea. I can tell you that. But it's one of those things that we can't help going and checking out, see what the other person has. We can't help see what the other musician or composer is doing, and not knowing that they are good at their own thing and we're good at our own thing. And it's like anything in life, you know. We want to be maybe doing what they are doing or what somebody else is doing, but not knowing that this person might be wishing secretly to be like you or be doing the things that I'm doing. So never do that mistake of thinking that just because somebody else is doing their thing, you should be doing that thing as well. Focus on your strengths, focus on what you're doing. And I've been talking a lot about this on my channel. But these are just normal mistakes that we have done as beginners. This is what I call the beginner's mind. You know, when you were just so open to everything, we want to learn, we want to experience everything. But there's certain pitfalls, or there's certain mistakes that we want to make sure that we all do. Okay, and because this is a new activity, or this is something that is out of my own routine, I came across this pattern of thoughts and patterns of how can I approach my music composition, and I'm really aware of it, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, just to let you know that I'm not immune to it, but I always keep myself in check and say, okay, that's mistake number one, to put way too much on the actual composition, try to put more tracks, more melodies, another drum section, another this, another that, and that's a mistake, because you're not really doing anything. It's like cooking. How many more ingredients are you going to put to a dish, you know? And the other thing is to go and check what other people, what somebody else is doing, and that prevents you from taking risks within your own composition, within your own music. So I have fallen victim of that even quite recently, just checking what other people have been making, and I leave it there. I don't go there. I resist the temptation to go and check, because it prevents me from focusing on my music and focusing on what I need to do, and knowing that I am good in my own special way. And hopefully you can see that you are good as well in your own special way. You don't have to copy anybody else. You don't have to do what the guy next door is doing. It's a terrible idea. It's a terrible mistake. Go and check it out. Go and see what people are doing, and then completely disconnect from that. Don't take that as a measuring stick for your own success, because it's a really bad thing that we all do. Anyway, just a thought very quickly here on a Saturday morning. I've been composing. Like I said, I stayed last night very late. I couldn't really sleep that well. I woke up early and started working on the track just to, like, you know, do my best to rearrange or to fix whatever I did last night. And that's why I don't like working at night. It's not the same energy. So this morning I came with fresh ears, and after a bad night's sleep, and I took things away in a weird way, you know. So sometimes composition is about that, about putting things on the actual session, and more often than not, it's just taking things away and let the other important elements breathe. So excellent exercise. I'm really pushing. This is really hard, not for me as a composer, but it's really hard to say the story, to tell a story with less elements, with less instruments, and actually say, I'm not gonna put this. How about that? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do something different, and I'm gonna let it breathe. I'm gonna let it become something natural, something more organic, something that is original, or something that that it will be a little bit more out there, if you will. So anyways, I hope this video finds you well. I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm gonna carry on working on this. It's homework for me, and I'm really enjoying this process of composing to film, to see the images and really follow the storyline and follow whatever's happening on the screen and put in those elements there. And it's a really good exercise for us composers, and you know, I'm ecstatic. I'm really happy with this. So it's creating even more creativity for future projects, and really experimenting with different sounds, because I'm doing a lot of sound design here. I'm not going for the average orchestral violin string sections and passages and stuff like that. I'm going a little bit more bunkers. I can't wait to share this with you. I will, I promise. And I hope to finish it soon, okay? So I can carry on with my life, doing some other things. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you're doing fantastic on this Saturday morning, or messy medis over here I'm about to eat right now. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.